Good afternoon. We are Prince George's County Public School System Team Impact. What happens to a PD deferred? Does it sit on a shelf like a book in a store, or fester like a failing test score, and then sit in the back of the class disengaged from the bore? Is it long and drawn like a first week's meet, or is it short and sweet like a Friday's 2 o'clock treat? Maybe it drains like a heavy rain, or does it have life that sustains? This poem represents the current status of our professional development in the teaching realm and the need to bridge the gap between the needs of individual teachers and their professional learning.
So Team Impact's vision for professional learning includes the acronym LIFE, Leveraging Impact for Effectiveness, under ESA.
We believe teachers can provide job-embedded learning for our colleagues. We informally help each other every day on the fly as we are so busy planning, grading, meeting deadlines, attending this meeting or that meeting, or attending a professional development session. But job-embedded approaches are intentional, with carefully carved out time and a clear focus on the learning based on the evidence of great teaching from teachers themselves. First, we must grow trust amongst each other. This will cultivate authentic teacher agency. Teachers will lead professional learning and create a multiplier effect. We will grow effective, job-embedded professional learning, impacting success for all students.
Our current state of teacher PD leaves us gasping for the components of job-embedded professional learning that will leverage the impact of teacher agency. If we truly want to ensure that every student succeeds, we must grow and give life to job-embedded professional learning. You know, learning that is sustained, intensive, ongoing, classroom-focused, and data-driven. Well, that means that we have to set protocols. Protocols will create a process for professional learning that will encourage a safe zone for teacher learning and become the basis and structure for trust. We find that in education, teachers remain silent and fearful of engaging in collaborative work because of the lack of trust. Protocols will help to alleviate that barrier. It is only after trust has been established that we can really begin to collaborate. Collaboration with all stakeholders is needed to develop teacher leaders and cultivate teacher learning that bridges the gap between teacher needs and student achievement.
So how can we breathe life into ESSA through professional learning, you wonder? Well, this must occur with support from schools, districts, and states. School administrators and teacher leaders will become collaborators, peer coaches, and critical friends who will work to foster cooperative learning, to meet teachers' individual classroom needs, and restructure school schedules to allow critical time for analysis of data. District leaders will take on the role of resource managers, professional developers, and data analysts who will build the capacity of school leaders, train teachers to lead, and structure professional learning time. States will also take on the role of resource managers, data analysts, and professional developers. They will provide compensation for teacher leaders who will engage in this work. So, why should we have a PD deferred when we can breathe life and ensure that educator voices are heard through job-embedded professional learning that will support the teacher efficacy for which we have all been yearning? Through sustained and continuous collaboration, we will increase teacher effectiveness and impact children in classrooms in Prince George's County and throughout this nation.
Thank you. And our judge to begin comments, Stephanie Banchero.
That was unbelievable. that was really good. The opening, the reference to the dream deferred, I thought was spectacular. I mean, I got goosebumps while you were talking. I thought that was a great. I know you guys ran over time, but it was worth it just to hear that. That was fantastic. I think the way you guys use language was just really great. I mean, I mean, first the dream deferred reference, the life, using the words like authentic teacher agency, trust, multiplier effect, like I think Chris said, words matter, words matter, and that was very powerful. Mm-hmm. I felt like I would trust you guys to do whatever you guys said, let's do it. A couple little things. I liked at the very end, too, that you did have specific call-outs. Because the whole time I was waiting, like, okay, I get all this, but what do we need to do? I love that you have that. It's very specific. I would spend a little more time on that. Like, specifically, what do people need to do to make this happen? But I thought it was spectacular.
I think I like that this is a presentation that'll appeal to all. It's not just for educators, but if I were sitting in the room as a parent or as a community member or as a policymaker, it makes sense. It's simple, it's precise. The visuals force you to remember the presentation. Like, this is something that I'll walk away from remembering. And as much as I think I hate acronyms, I think this is one that forces you to say, okay, wait a minute, what does the F stand for? And you're really replaying it in your mind in a way that makes sense.
I just have a couple questions. I thought it was wonderful, a great presentation. Love the poem at the beginning. The job-embedded approach is so important. So the question I had was on the tree. In each one of those areas, and I know you would do this if you had more than 4 minutes, so part of this is just choices you had to make in the presentation. But in each of those components, what do we need from school districts for teachers to be able to do this? And I know you have those answers, and so make sure you're ready when people ask you those questions. And then I love that you put the levels up there at the end here. I think my biggest question as a person who represents state commissioners is, so it says support and fund job-embedded professional learning. What exactly do you want us to do there? Because I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go to the mountaintop and tell folks they need to do this. But what exactly is the right structure so that the trust is built? Because if we just turn this over to districts or school buildings, I think some of the stuff will be, it will mirror whatever challenges you already have in your school. So anyway, I think we can go further, but you only had 4 minutes, so thank you.
Just to add on that a little bit, I think it's a great foundation for states to look at. You really defined, I think, key elements of a model. I loved a new acronym, of course, because we always have to have acronyms. And I think that the way you also, though, used analogies around breathing life and growing life, I thought it was a really creative foundation for the presentation. I thought your tree of life, to define some of those critical elements that need to be in future of professional development, was a great visual also for differentiation. So I thought that was a real strength. And then probably just a little more again about student outcomes and student needs. That was kind of that last little bullet, and I think that would be a piece I would want to add and bring up front a little bit more, maybe even your justification as to why life is important. It's important really to meet those needs of students. So thank you.
Fabulous feedback. Fabulous.